We have roughly 2 minutes before it begins. So I want to do a quick rundown. Hello and welcome everyone. This is my reaction and speculation for the Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents. This is 2026 on Pokemon Day, which is the 27th. And first off, I just kind of want to go over what we know. So, I'm pretty sure it's by the end of this Presents, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green are going to be playable. They're already pre-orderable on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. So, that's one thing. Sorry. That's one thing that we do currently know. We know it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. It's 30 years. And there have been logos in of the plenty for a variety of different things that are. And another thing, too. We know that Pokemon Champions is something they talked about last time, or at least during one of the Pokemon Presents before. And one of the last times, at least, that Pokemon was during this event, we had that announced, talked about. I can't remember when it was first announced, but I know that it was around that time. I feel like we might get something now. Now is a good time for it. 30th anniversary, they want to do a lot of stuff. Seems like it would fit. The TCG, obviously. We've already had some new sets and things release, and that are scheduled to release, so there could be some mentions of that either through the new digital cards on mobile or something like that. We could see something like that. I don't know if they'll do it just specifically like that on the mobile version of it. I think it's Pocket, right? So we could see some stuff in regards to that. Obviously some merch related stuff too. I expect we'll see some things we can expect merchandise related in relation to the stuff. It's going to be starting in just a couple seconds, so let me just bring it up for you so that you can see it. Turn my audio down just a little bit. And I'm going to run down as much as I can within the time I got. So we still have a couple seconds. Like I said, these are kind of what I'm thinking, reasonable guesses, new region, or, you know, Gen 2, 5 remake, remaster. Don't expect anything Legends. Could see something new as the Snap-in Stadium, but like I said, let's get into this. I'm going to go ahead and react to whatever this is going to be. Turn down the audio just a little bit and try to mainly have this be me reacting as we go, not just listening to everything. So we have the games right here. This is good. I don't know if this is in relation to this, but this might just be like an introduction, or it might actually be them revealing the GBA games outside of Fire Red and Leaf Green, or this could be Fire Red and Leaf Green. They're putting everything here. 30th anniversary. That's what this is. Alright. I'm gonna try not to react too quickly, but I did kind of take a quick eating break that I didn't exactly plan to take at that time, but I kind of needed to do something before we started.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokemon Day. This is the date the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games were first released in Japan, marking the beginning of the Pokemon series. In those first two titles, 151 Pokemon made their appearance.
Let me take this
Now,
off.
A total of 1,025 Pokemon have been discovered.
1,025.
Pokemon have been
Not to
part
mention
the
all
story
of the
trainers
forms
worldwide
and
have been able to experience.
variants and stuff, right?
This year marks the Pokemon series' 30th, a milestone reached because of your support. Thank you.
Also, I wanted to say, I think it's going to be similar to the 25th, a little bit, with what, with at least how it feels, because that's what I've been feeling about it, that it's kind of similar to what the 25th did, with kind of how it's gearing up. So I'm interested to see how it's going to be different than that, and what they're going to do this time. Is this Fire Red Leaf Green, or is this something else? Now, I need to know, and we'll see it in a moment with my reaction. Oh, is this a miniature recreation or something? Or what is this? "45 songs, 45 cartridges." Oh, music collection. I see.
I'm Junichi Masuda, and I handled the music and sound effects for the Pokémon Red version and Pokémon Blue version video games. You can now play all 45 songs from the games on the small player inspired by the Game Boy system. We took particular care to make the audio sound just like Game Boy, so I hope you enjoy listening while swapping out cartridges.
That's interesting. I was definitely wondering if they would do anything similar to that, where it's replicating the cartridge system.
Hello, Pokemon
Never expected it with music, though.
I'm Chris Brown from the Pokemon Company International, and I'm thrilled to share news about the 2026 Pokemon World Championships, which will be taking place alongside our new fan experience, Pokemon XP in San Francisco. The 2026 Pokemon World Championships will once again welcome nearly 3,000 competitors from all over the world. Competitors in the video game championships will battle for the first time in Pokemon Champions, while their fellow competitors will battle in the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite. Each of the final matches of these games will be held at the Chase Center, an arena that's 3 times the size as last year's finals. Years ago, we started on a mission to create the most exciting Pokemon event for our competitors and their families. As the World Championships evolved, we saw an opportunity to expand even further and deliver a one-of-a-kind experience where trainers around the world can come together in celebrating their fandom. As we celebrate 30 years of Pokemon, we invite all of you to the inaugural Pokemon XP event. Fans of all ages can expect fun activities, including interactive exhibits, pin trading, cosplay showcases, unique panels, hands-on workshops, exciting partner collaborations, and of course, visiting the Pokemon Center pop-up store. To celebrate this new experience, today we're giving you a first look at a truly special piece of art illustrating Pokemon XP alongside the highly anticipated World Championships.
Oh, it looks pretty cool. Like all the different Pokemon that they're using to represent it.
Or from home on our live stream, we can't wait to see you.
Yeah, they always add a different variant for Pikachu with a costume. The things. I'm always surprised by it. Although Go does have a lot of costume. Oh, there we go, TCG. I'm curious if this is going to be the game, or if this is going to be the physical one. Oh, are they bringing back some of the older ones? That's kind of cool. Or maybe these are newer ones. I don't know. I like the designs for a lot of them. I don't actually know if some of these are some of the older ones or not. Because some of them do look that way. And I know they brought back some. Are those like terrestrial or something else? Oh, so the trading card game is going to release it 7 times in a row. I'm surprised I predicted that. Like, I was thinking it was going to be pocket stuff, but I did say TCG. I'm surprised to see the physical. I can't remember if they did it only with the pocket version last time, or if they mentioned that, but this is the 30th anniversary, so I feel like they have to kind of talk about everything.
Pokemon Go so far will return. And there's a 2-day Pokemon Go tour event starting tomorrow. We also have a promo code to share.
Oh, promo code. Okay.
Here.
Let your curiosity shine! Like a twinkling star!
Pokemon Masters EX.
Alright. So definitely be going over a lot of stuff in relation to the mobile apps section, which is interesting because they went from, I guess, I guess I was grouping in with the TCG and stuff, but now they're going into the mobile apps, so I wonder... Yeah, so that's a little bit different than what my prediction was going on with it, but...
To celebrate Pokemon Day, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno will be joining the fray.
Okay.
The magnificent power of the 3 legendary bird Pokemon comes together.
I know they always do
Soar
reveal
stylishly into battle.
a bunch of
You can
different
participate in the event to unlock their
Pokemon they'll
unite
add into
license.
games.
And even more Pokemon are scheduled to be added. Don't miss
For
what's coming.
Unite here, I've definitely seen them add a lot of different Pokemon. You'll hear of a different Pokemon coming every so often. I personally don't play it, but I definitely have heard a lot about the different events and stuff going on. There. That's what I was predicting. So... Obviously, it's kind of generalized with a lot of what I was saying there. That was what we would expect. What's this? So, I'm pretty sure these games are already released on the, what you call it, right? Gale Darkness and Coliseum both released on the Switch through the what you call it, online, Nintendo Switch Online. What is this for? Yeah, it was only Switch 2, I forgot about that. Yeah. Couldn't do the game. See. Oh, so it hasn't already come yet. Or it is coming.
Hello everyone, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokémon
I have to look at that a little bit closer.
I'd like to give you all some additional updates as we share the latest news on our games. First off, we have information regarding the Pokémon Fire Red version and Pokémon Leaf Green version games coming to Nintendo Switch. The Pokémon Fire Red and Pokémon Leaf Green games, remakes of the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games in Japan, were released on Game Boy Advance in 2004. Today, these games have been made available to play once more as download-exclusive titles on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2.
I like that particular way that it's been
We
doing,
also plan
so...
to make these titles compatible with Pokémon Home in the future. This way, you can bring Pokémon obtained in other Pokémon RPG series titles on adventures with you, or you can send Pokemon to visit Pokemon Champions. We hope you look forward to it.
Link. That's kind of interesting that it says Link.
Next, we have some news about Pokemon Champions.
Okay, I'm interested to hear about what this is. I see, so you can connect both the Switch and... So it's gonna have crossplay. If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be kind of a similar idea to how Stadium and whatnot would work. And that was one of the first times I ever played Pokemon, actually, was during playing Stadium for the first time when I was little. So, I'm definitely interested to see what this will be. I didn't play, like, a lot at that first point, so I didn't really get to play through, you know, the other entries of, you know, the second entry of Stadium, and, like, that stuff. I just kind of played through what I did when I was little, but it'll be very interesting to see this game, because I definitely think it's something I'm going to be playing quite a bit, depending on how it goes and all.
Next up is news about the Mega Dimension DLC for the Pokemon Legends ZA game.
It's going to be a combination, right?
Series.
Usually they release a box version that combines the DLC with the base game, and that's probably what this will be. Where you can get the DLC built, or with the game in the cart. That's kind of what I imagine that's going to say. They do have at least one other update or something I heard that they were supposed to do with it at some point. I don't know if that might be revealed by the end of this or not. Some kind of Pokemon or stone that they wanted to release. So we could see that.
A new Mega Evolution of Garchomp, Mega Garchomp Z, has been discovered. This mystery gift will become available for the Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension DLC after this presentation concludes. After claiming this gift, you'll be able to detect a special hyperspace distortion where you can encounter Mega Garchomp Z. You can obtain a Garchomp
that's actually a pretty cool way of doing it.
A battle against Mega Garchomp Z in the special pocket of hyperspace.
Unfortunately, I don't think they'll be
Next up,
doing
we have
any
some news about Pokemon
like,
Pokopia.
It would have been cool to see more of that as, like, you know, some special ones and stuff. But, I mean, we did have quite a few special ones you could get. But, you know, in terms of, we're getting Garchomp here, right? As, like, a special thing where you kind of have them release it. Like this. Here's my example I wanted to give. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did a lot of events throughout the year where you would be able to fight and capture different Pokemon. That's kind of what I was saying.
Is that curious-looking stereo of Rotom? Did it get enticed by the music and hop inside? It's really energetic and seems to go by DJ Rotom. What happens if you give it a CD in the game?
Oh, so we're getting some stuff in relation to Pokeopia
It
too.
can help liven up the town.
Even though we
with
got the
a variety
treehouse,
of
there's
music.
still some more stuff to
Ditto
be
and the others are
revealed.
grooving to the beat too. Let's listen to DJ Rotom's specially selected tracks while I introduce you to the world of Pokemon Pokeopia. Ditto first encounters Professor Tangrowth in a wasteland that was once a town. It seems like Ditto is working alongside other Pokemon to develop the town. Wow, they're sure fired up. Of course, you can't give your all on an empty stomach. It looks like Riolu wants something to eat too. But how do you cook? Huh? That's Silhouette. A Greedent appeared. It sounds like everyone calls it
That's
Chef
interesting.
Dente. Chef Dente can teach you how to cook all sorts of dishes.
Yeah, adding a lot more
Each Pokemon
of the
has different foods they prefer.
simulation elements to the game than I expected. Especially
Some
with the
dishes
food
will
system,
even
I didn't
power up your
know
moves
it was
when
going to
you
go
eat them.
that in depth.
This will make it even
Past the
easier to
berries
develop the town.
and whatnot. So I'm pretty interested
Try
then.
bringing Pokemon you've befriended on an outing. In multiplayer mode, you can visit other players' towns. You can play with up to 3 other people. First,
Huh.
let's play some hide and seek. I wonder where everyone's hiding. Ah, there you are. There's someone here, too. But where's the last one? Whoa! You can transform into objects, too! That was a fun game of hide and seek. By working together, you could even build something this big.
Oh, I like that aspect. Yeah, that definitely looks like one of the
Together, you can develop a town.
funner aspects of the game, just to be able to kind of
Or go
build
on
some of these
far-off
big
adventures.
structures.
New encounters may await you as well. Every day, the world gets bigger and bigger. Developing a town, one step at a time. Pokemon Pokeopia. Available on
Like I
March
said, this
5th.
is a pretty big game, but if you're someone that is really into sandbox and whatnot, that game is definitely going to be one of those games that fulfills all of what you would want out of a good sandbox game. That's what I look forward to in it. But, you know, having Pokemon, which is
Pokeopia
something I've
releases
wanted
next week
for
on Thursday,
quite a long
March
time.
5th. We hope you enjoy working with Pokemon to develop a town from the ground up. Today, we covered all of the information you see here.
Okay.
We'd like to end our presentation today with one final video for you all. Thank you for tuning in.
Alright. So this is either going to be a reveal or something to do with the 30th. Okay, it's a game reveal. So let's see which game. This looks like Gen 10. Doesn't really give me the vibes of a Legends or a remake / remaster yet. Maybe it does. Oh. Oh, it is. It is. I was wrong. I think. Oh, I've been wanting to say that. For some reason, in the back of my head, I can't get the song from Black and White out. I don't know why, but that soundtrack, I just keep having that in the back of my mind. I wonder what this is. We're on a beach. Are we going back to the Alolan region? Or, oh wait, no, is that Orez? What? Oh, maybe this is something else. It's for the 30th anniversary. Movie? This is a movie? What is this? It said RP, which means a game, so it can't be. Is this Detective Pikachu 2? Or something? Oh no, it is Gen 10. Wow, it really went everywhere before I could figure it out. Wait a minute. Are we getting like a, Wait, is this like a full-blown island, or is it... What region is this? This is, Not region, what region is it based on? I'm trying to think about the landscape and everything. No. Anyways, it does look like it's island heavy, but also has some swamp areas. I wonder if it's... I remember we were supposed to go to like a jungle-based area. I think it was like from the Pokemon movie and stuff. I'm curious if this is going to have any kind of relation to that. As far as what the region they picked for it is. That looks so familiar. What is this? Location based. It's beautiful. Wait a minute. We get to go underwater this time. We actually get to go underwater. Okay. No, this is gonna be Gen 10. This is gonna be like winds. Okay. And waves. Alright. 2027. So is it going to be like early or late, I wonder? It's probably going to be later in it if they're just giving a little image like this. That's kind of what I predict. It's interesting that they would have it be next. Okay. Let me make sure nothing starts up. So, it's just kind of interesting here seeing everything that they kind of revealed. Maybe I'll even go over some of this too, just a little bit so that I can talk about it. This is something I wanted to clear up for my own sake. I think this is just saying that on the Switch, yeah, I think this is just for Switch 2. For some reason, I thought it had already released, but apparently it hasn't. Well, we're going to look at, I feel like the thing that you're going to be most interested in if you're tuning into this is we get this whole teaser, right? And it sort of feels kind of like it could be anything, really. You're going through all of these different regions, you know, from... I don't know if this is representing Pallet Town and all that or not, like Pokemon Yellow. Obviously that's Generation 2, because isn't that like... Was it Eterna City? Anyways, I can't remember every single city's name, to be honest, but... Gen 4, Gen 5, that was what I've been thinking... You know, that was one of the things in Gen 5 that I've been thinking about most, is the city area. Probably because of Legend CA and whatnot, but... For some reason, the soundtrack of that just kept being in the back of my mind. I also, for some reason, knew that they were going to mention something in regards to either Coliseum or XD during this. But I didn't know if it was going to be something separate, like, you know, get something different that's kind of in the vein of that, if that was going to be any kind of what of that. But I was definitely interested to see that being there, because I, for some reason, thought it was already out on Switch 2. I heard of it being dropped on there, but maybe did it say dropping it? Coming to, so it isn't already there. Anyways, this is Gen 10, and it's given me a little bit of vibes like of the environment and region that Snap was in for Pokemon Snap a little bit. So I wonder if the region that this is based on, it's probably more obvious to those of you who are more aware of what it is. But for me, I guess trying to explain it to you, only Switch 2? Did it say only Switch 2 for these? Did it? Oh yeah, just Switch 2. So yeah, Pokemon Winds and Waves is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive. It did say simultaneously in 2027. So the one thing that means is that it's probably going to be the later half of 2027 unless they keep with what Legends does. But the problem is that this isn't a Legends game. This is a game they're probably going to want to have during what they usually do during the Christmas times and stuff. I have a hard time believing they're going to release this at the time that they release their Legends game, right? Because this one's going to be one of their like big games. Now, it being 2027 and this year being the 30th being 2026, that means they're not going to have this released for the 30th. I'm kind of curious though. So what have they really said that was like, I guess they kind of talked about what already came out. Like they added a little bit to the Mega Dimensions and stuff, but that's already out. Like that was way before this. I guess the main thing right now is we're getting Fire Red and Leaf Green, which I'm happy to see. Honestly, we'll be checking that in a moment. Actually, I have the games. I was going to load them up and test out. I was thinking we could play for just a little bit. I want to test some stuff out. I want to see connectivity and things like that. So I just want to test a couple things out. I don't think it will work, and I'm pretty sure it won't, but I'm still going to test a couple things out and just kind of play through a certain point. Because I do, and if I'm not mistaken, for those of you who do want to go play through the game, that in order to complete your decks, you're actually going to need to trade. Because that's the only way you're going to see one Pokemon that you will miss in your decks. If I'm remembering correctly. So we'll see. I doubt they remedied that. I'm actually kind of curious. So it looks like you can only transfer from, you can't transfer back, which is expected. But it is a good thing that we'll be able to transfer from it into the other games. And it's good that we can transfer it and withdraw it into Scarlet and Violet, it looks like. Because we can already do that technically from the older games and stuff. But I'm incredibly interested to see how this works. And I'm incredibly interested to see like if they're going to do some similar stuff for these. Like if you complete the decks in this. If they even count the dex completion to that, if we're going to get any reward Pokemon from that. We might not. But I will be interested to see if they do something with that or not. Because they have the game there, so yeah, there's no reason they couldn't do it for sure. And as far as everything else is concerned, I was really surprised to see the TCG mentioned like directly and not just through the Pocket version. I guess maybe I was just mainly surprised by the fact that it looked like a lot of the older stuff, but also some new stuff. I was not expecting to be kind of like as interested with some of the newer thing. I don't know. It looks like they're older ones they're bringing back, which would kind of interest me, or at least in the style of some of the older ones. So I'm just incredibly interested in that. Also, it was like, well, let me say this. When I saw this, I was thinking for a second, like, oh, they're gonna do a what do you call it? Like one of their little emulators that they do sometimes, where they'll have like one of those device things. But no, this is a music one, technically, which I guess I wouldn't have expected that. I like that they're bringing back a system where you can actually play cartridges on, even if it's not the game. I just like the fact that there is at least something in regards to the cartridge system, and that, you know, for the people that are either just interested in it or like how that works, I just think it's a cool thing to be able to collect. So I definitely see that as being a popular collectible. And that's probably one of their bigger things that they're doing for the 30th. But like Champions, right? That's going to be releasing soon, isn't it? I just feel like we didn't really get very much about in depth with it yet, as we hopefully should. Like, what's the date for Champions? I know it's going to be, people are going to be playing it and stuff by then, but is it going to be like very soon before that, or actually right on the dot at that time that people can play it? Maybe they've mentioned it somewhere else and I kind of missed it. I don't know, but I just feel like a little bit more could be there, and maybe I need to look a little bit deeper into this actually, and I can look a little bit deeper. Let me just make sure I double check the rest of the video. So I'm really, really excited for the next generation, but that's 2027, so we can kind of hold out for that, because right now we have Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't know. I feel like there's a completeness to this. The only thing I will say is I feel like the problem is Scarlet and Violet felt like it just had like a bigger impact than Legend CA is going to have in the after game. Because like after you finish the game is what I'm trying to say. I feel like after you finish the game with Scarlet and Violet, it kind of had stuff that they were doing for the game that kind of just felt like, you know, new stuff to get and do in the game all the time. Whereas with Legend CA, I just don't see what they could do with that, because everything you can do, you kind of already can do in the game. So like, you know, you would either have completed it or, you know, it's not going to be like a specific time thing. We are getting, like I was hinting at and had kind of heard of prior, we are getting Garchomp, right? We're getting the Mega Garchomp Z. So a new Z evolution, which I'm not, you know, going to say too much, but I felt like they introduced Z Mega Evolutions because I'm pretty sure they were a result of Angie, or of the whole incident with the base game. I'm not going to try to spoil too much, but, you know, the way the game ends spawns in some new Megas, supposedly, is what I was thinking. And I was just kind of interested that it was only like, was it 3 Pokemon that got the Z Mega Evolutions out of all? And we had a lot of, you know, Mega Evolutions, but I'm, you know, just thinking about that versus back when we did Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing. I felt like we had more Gigantamax forms than we had Z Megas. And I don't want to make that a complaint or anything. I just felt like, you know, I would have at least expected like more than 3. And I don't want to make that a complaint. But we're getting a new one, and I feel like that's kind of needed to balance it out, because it just feels like we kind of selected only a few Pokemon. And I will admit some of the ones picked were kind of already strong Pokemon. So I can't remember every single Pokemon. I guess we got Absol, obviously. Let's see, who else did we get? Oh yeah, Lucario, of course. And I think we had somebody else. I can't remember. Let me start looking some things up just so I can give you information. Okay, so we got... Oh, well, yeah, but those are new Megas. They're not Z Megas. I guess they were classified under here. Anyways, yeah, like I said, Absol got a Z Mega Evolution. Garchomp's getting one here, but that one's new. I'm talking about in the base game, it only had Absol, Lucario, and then one other that got the Z one, which is supposedly a stronger than traditional Mega. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was only 2 Pokemon? I thought there was another one. Yeah, no, there literally was only 2 of them. Wow. No wonder I went through the whole game thinking that there's a whole new thing introduced, but there was only 2 Pokemon that got a Z Mega. Huh. Wow. I guess that's why I felt that way. Yeah, no, 2. It was just for 2 Pokemon, but they could have just, like... They called it a new... And I want to make it clear. They called it a new class of Mega Evolution. A stronger new one. And to be fair, you know, them being spawned off of the events of it is probably a bit slow for them to be discovered. But for them to make a whole new class for these Pokemon, rather than just add them into the existing Megas and just say, like, a new Mega form, because obviously Charizard has X and Y form, right? So, you know, you could probably just put it within the confines of standard Mega Evolution and just say that it's a different Mega Evolution. Why did they choose to say Z Mega Evolutions, like a stronger Mega Evolution, if they didn't intend to do anything with it? 2 Pokemon is not enough to spawn a whole new, you know, category. I feel like you need maybe like 5, to be honest. You know, just like, I feel like you need at least as many as you did with the Gigantamaxes. And let me make sure that I'm not like, let me just make sure, because it was added during DLC, and whereas Gigantamax was in the base game of Sword and Shield, but, oh yeah, no. Okay. There are a lot of Gigantamaxes. To be fair, Dynamax, though, any Pokemon Dynamaxes, so to be fair, Gigantamax maybe should be more compared to the Megas and not to another one, but for some reason, I guess I just kind of associated Gigantamax as being like, your Dynamax is your Mega, and then Gigantamax is like the special. But to be fair, Dynamax is like, well, they don't really change form, they just change size, so every Pokemon has it, and Gigantamax is really just like a new form, so it really should be more, that should be more of like the Mega forms. Okay, but I will say, I just don't know. I don't know if I like the idea that like it's called Z Mega Evolution rather than just Mega Evolution, and not because I don't like the idea or concept of Z Mega Evolution, but I feel like if they're going to introduce it, and also, isn't there like a thing called Z moves? So like, you know, how does that play into that too? Like, is this just similar name? There's just so many questions. I'm curious if we're going to see anything Mega Evolution related once we get to the next generation, or if this is just going to stay solely to the Legends stuff that we have here, because it probably will. And I want to bring this up real quick, my image, because of the speculation and stuff. So we already went through the video. I just want to make reasonable guesses and stuff. We can kind of go over what I put here and what we saw. So obviously Fire Red Leaf Green, we were guaranteed that because they were told. Champions was not guaranteed, but we did get a little bit of a mention of it. I don't know if we have an exact date for it though, so like, let me check. It says December 31st, 2026, so like, release date window announced during the 30th anniversary. Has a release run. So it does have a release. First announced in 2025 on Pokemon Day. So I was right. But very good year for... Okay. This person said very good year for fans, but they didn't read the fact that the game's coming out next year, not in the 30th anniversary. Which is still a good year, and this is still a good year, but I feel like that's a little misleading. Anyways, not what we saw with the video here. I was just reading something online. I'm trying to figure out if anything's been released about Champions as far as when it's going to come out, other than what we saw here. Like, it's going to be at the tournament, right? It's going to be one of the first times where they play it. I wonder if it's going to be in place of any of the games, which means maybe the future games just won't include anything, and you play Champions to do that stuff. Or if maybe it'll just be a bit of both. I feel like Champions could replace it if they do it right, but it depends how it works. Like, is it... I guess if it's on mobile and stuff, maybe it's like... We'll see. I don't want to say anything for what Champions is going to be, because it's going to be an app on mobile, but then how is it going to be on Switch? We do have, Unite and Go and all these things and their systems and models. I wonder how much of that's going to play into what we do with Champions, right? If it's going to fit into that ecosystem of games, or how much it's going to fit into the ecosystem of the main games, because that's where it's drawing a lot of the ability to play with the Pokemon from that. It said you can link, so you don't transfer Pokemon over to it, which is interesting. So is it kind of working like the system where in a lot of Pokemon games you can get a rental team or assign a rental team? Because I know the game it was talking about before, which is a game I played heavily not too long ago because I needed to get some of the special Pokemon and stuff from it, was Battle Revolution. It's going to be like that, where you can share your Pokemon with it and play as that team, but it's like a copy of that team rather than actually having your team in it. I'd be interested to hear more about it. I feel like we need more on that game to make better decisions about, when it's... Well, maybe not when it's going to come out, but like what impact it's going to have on the whole Pokemon community, especially within the competitive field, or even just people who like to play the battle system and like to try out new strategies and stuff, being able to go into that. How, like, who is going to be surrounding this, right? I know it's going to be a lot of competitive. Is it going to be purely ranked? How's the system going to focus in it? What's it going to be tied to? Because if you can play it on mobile, the Switch version maybe needs to be its own separate thing too. Or are they going to have crossplay? Like, there's just so much we need to know about those games. And I feel like we get like it brought up, but we still have no clue on the exact date when people can get their hands on it and actually play it. And we still don't know like all the specifications of the game. We haven't seen like someone like load up the game, play a little bit of it. Like, we just kind of know that some things will be in the game, but we don't know that everything, but eventually things will be added to it. Like, it's supposed to be the battle simulator. Like, I want to make this clear to you. We have Pokeopia, okay? That is supposed to be the thing that for years people have been wanting to have, a Pokemon game that allows you to build, allows you to craft, allows you to obtain Pokemon in it, And, you know, this sandbox simulation Pokemon game, right? A lot of people have wanted that for years. I know I have. And, you know, a battle simulation game that summarizes all of Pokemon, people have wanted that for a long time too. That is not something that is just like they popped it up as a good idea for this year. This is something that people have wanted for a long time. Both of those things are something. So, you know, are we going to expect it this year? I hope. I looked at the top thing with at least it's 31st of December. Well, let me tell you something about 31st of December and what that means. That means I don't know the date. That's usually what, like, if you're going to pre-order a game and the retailer doesn't know when it's going to release, it's 31st. Well, that's probably the same thing that we're seeing here. I don't think the Champions is released on the 31st. I think it's just trying to say they expect it to come out in that time. And it does say iOS there, so I wonder if that's just because of the store having to have a date on there, so they're saying that. So they expect it within this year, this calendar year, or however they want to say it. It could be like in the last third quarter, maybe that's going to be the thing that releases during the later year, but usually Pokemon likes to have a game every, like, at the end of the year. So I'm curious. They want to do a lot of merch stuff. I wonder if the merch is going to be pushed as the thing for this year more so than the game. But the problem is we didn't get revealed a thing similar to what we did with the 25th, where every month we got like one of the legendary Pokemon. Or like, you know, like some kind of special thing like that. So it kind of makes me wonder. Maybe the merch is going to be like, it's going to be a little bit heavier this time because they're not going to be doing a game at the end of the year. And I don't expect Gen 10 to be at the beginning of next because it just seems a little odd. Unless they do, well, to be fair, I will put it here. Gen 10 probably might receive, probably might, maybe might, should, maybe, might, probably receive a DLC. Let's just get that out of the way. They'll probably receive a season pass, might receive 2 to 3 DLC. We will see. It depends how long they want to extend the game. And to be fair, they could just do one DLC and then just have a system like they did with Scarlet and Violet, where they have their Terra Raids and they have their other stuff, but, you know, reinvent that in a way where it's like, I liked the Outbreak system because, you know, you would get shiny Pokemon quite often, and honestly I kept coming back because that's one of the harder things to get, so having an Outbreak for that, and then, you know, saying when they're going to release it as like a special thing, that just kept the game fresh, and it was really nice. Legends ZA had a really nice system for shiny Pokemon, but that was built into the game, so they're not going to do anything external through events like this, which makes me a little sad because, you know, we're seeing the Garchomp event, right, with Garchomp, and well, we're not really going to see much more of that with the game, which is unfortunate because, you know, they had the Z Mega Evolutions. They could have made a few more of them maybe, and just kind of sprinkled them out to kind of spread it out and keep the game fresh. Or maybe did some more missions and stuff, like some special mission things. Because they did a lot of them during the DLC and stuff, but I just feel like maybe there's some way to make it, like, they have all these distortions and stuff. Maybe there's some way to make, like, some special ones or something. I don't know. That's just one of the things I really enjoyed with Scarlet and Violet. It always kept me kind of involved with the game. So I'm going to be interested when we see Winds and Wave. And I want to put this out there. I heard, that's why you heard, if you did hear me say it, Wind, yep, and it came up with Wind. Well, that's because everywhere you go, you pretty much see it on the thumbnail. So, like, I was like, we could still see 2 or 5 remake, remaster. I don't think we're getting a Let's Go type game ever again, to be honest with you. Not because I wouldn't like to see it, but I feel like if we see anything, it's going to be more like what we did with Gen 4, or just a remaster like they've, or remake like they've always done. Which I feel like they're going to push a little bit more into the Legends genre for games. I hope they'll actually bring back remakes though. I want to make it clear. I really do like the Legends games, but I will admit it was nice seeing Oraz and because they weren't, just to make it clear, when they say remake, it wasn't like the same game. It wasn't like getting rid of the other game. I'm pretty sure every time we see a remake, for the most part, I have to play Fire Red Leaf Green a little bit. I can't remember. I guess Aura's, is that a special exception or is it the same? Okay, maybe it is the same. Anyways, I don't know. I just always liked the remake, but like it's in a new vein and stuff. That's one of the things that I kind of wish that Generation 4 was when they did Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I wish that those were remakes and not faithful ones, because I feel like the art style and everything, they could have leaned in a little bit more with that being what developed it as a remake rather than having to be one for one, which it wasn't 100% one for one. There were new things and stuff, but I guess I just kind of feel like it could have been more so as a remake rather than trying to make it one for one. Anyway, I will say this though. I'm just going to be honest with you. I kind of prefer what they did for, if they're going to do a game like that that's called a faithful one, I prefer they do what they're doing with Fire Red and Leaf Green. I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, they can't really do that with a DS game because that's just kind of like, you know, like enhanced or whatever. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's just fine to release the older thing if you're going to make it a faithful one. But if you're going to make like a remake or something, I feel like that would be more akin to what I would like to see with some of the stuff. Although I will admit this, I did like the fact of it is comparing it to like Legend of Zelda did with its art style. It was just really, really good art style. And even though I hadn't played the game before, I knew when I saw what it looked like that, like, you know, I probably wouldn't have even thought of anything until I had seen the art style. So like I was just thinking, well, Pokemon needed to do this. They did that. And honestly, I like the art style, but I feel like it should have been done through a remake. Anyways, that's my only one thing I will say. I don't want to say gripe or something like I disliked it or anything, but I will say this: we have a lineup, but it's for 2027. Really, that is going to be like the biggest change up. And we barely know anything about champions. I guess I'm just happy that they give us something right now, because if we didn't get Fire Red and Leaf Green from this, I'm going to be honest with you, I probably don't know what they'd be saying here that's like definite. Like everything would just be like, we'll know it when it happens. Like I suppose Pokeopia though, which I'm surprised we got so much about Pokeopia. I'm actually really excited about this. You probably already know because I watched the treehouse and stuff, but there's that. Now, let me just... my eyes. Let me just look at Pokemon's website real quick. Just check and see if there's anything else going on that I need to see. Oh, and I have a site that I can check out that you might not know about. Just to make sure about some stuff that's an official one. But give me a second. Where is this stuff? Okay. I guess you can't see that, so it won't matter. I just don't want to leave you on a black screen when I'm talking, because that's very unprofessional. Anyways. Let me me see. Do I have an easy way to get to this, or do I have to go through some hoops to find it? Oh wait, no, I have a separate place I put stuff. I think... Is it here? 1 minute. I am checking. File... Oh wait, there's this event stuff. I mean, I can check that, I guess. That's just for that. Yeah, no, there's not going to be anything about that. Actually, I was surprised that we got more terror rate stuff, to be fair. I never expected we would get any more of that. I doubt we'll get any more outbreaks, unfortunately, but that's alright. Alright. Gonna need a second or two to check where I put this. Actually, why don't I just look it up? Here we go. Nice, I found it. Okay, so here is the press release stuff. Okay. Dave Land's presents. Okay, so I can give you a little bit of a better overview of things to be a little more informative for you, because that is what we're doing here. So, 2026 was revealed here. The presents. We already know every one of them. Every year we have one of these, but for Pokemon Day, Fire Red, Leaf Green, arriving. So that should already be there. We're going to play it in just a minute. There was the What's Your Favorite Pokemon campaign. I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I was kind of interested. They're also doing some stuff. Well, I'm not going to talk about that here. Let's see though, but about so there's not any more there about the games. So I'm trying to focus on here, but I guess Pokemon Presents isn't necessarily just focused on games, and I should be clear of that, but it is a main heavily focus for sure. There's some Pokemon Winds and Waves press release screenshots. I could show a couple of those, maybe, but to be honest, all of them are from the trailer as far as I can tell, so like, I could just pause the video and it'd be the same thing. I do like the cooking system. Okay. Campaign celebrating titled, What's Your Favorite Pokemon? That's what I find interesting. And I guess what I wanted to say is, like, you know, they're trying to, like, really push towards your favorite Pokemon and stuff for this, which I like that. I like that they're doing that. Oh, yeah, the new Pokemon. Okay. How about we talk about that a little bit? We could do that too. So, oh man. So favorite Pokemon, since it's Pokemon Day and stuff, I guess I'll at least mention, it's hard for me to personally pick a favorite Pokemon, but I do have a favorite Pokemon, and I also have a separate favorite shiny Pokemon. Not the same thing. I don't think anyone has the same favorite for their shiny and Pokemon, to be honest. But unless it's a very rare case. But let me give you one. little bit obvious for my shiny Rayquaza, but there's a competitor by the name of, and if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Galarian Zigzagoon. Galarian Zigzagoon, I think. Or not Galarian, no. Yeah, no, it is Galarian. Huh. For some reason I was thinking of Alolan. Getting that confused, but Galarian. Let's see if it'll show it to me. Yes. But the shiny one. Oh, the shiny one is so cool. It is literally like a, I wish it would show it here. But, I think it's like a blue and a magenta / pink. Oh, no, it's not that. Okay. But yeah, it's a red and a cyan colored. I wonder why. I was thinking of it. Was I thinking of a different Pokemon? No, I don't think I was. No, it's just a really cool looking shiny either way. It's a stark contrast to its base form. And as far as like my favorite Pokemon, just while I'm trying to look through things, I mean, I could say Greninja, but I don't know. I mean, problem is I could also say Zorora, which is actually one of my favorites. Then I have two forms, or I could say another Pokemon like I'm actually a pretty big fan of, man, I don't know. I like Victini. I mean, honestly, it's hard for me to pick a Pokemon. I have a lot. Darmanitan. I like Darmanitan. Okay, so there's just too many Pokemon that I really like. It's hard for me to say I have a favorite. Is I'll probably just list another Pokemon by the time I've already told you one. But, you know, at least those are the first ones that come into my mind. Like I said, not because of their shinies, because I probably don't really care too much for the shinies, even for Greninja, which I like his shiny, but like nowhere near like Zigzagoon's Galarian, not the base one. I actually don't care for the base one from I just like the Galarian Zigzagoon's shiny. It's a really cool shiny. Okay, let me get off the topic of that and talk about the stuff that you're interested in. So let me get the trailer up for you again. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, and this was in relation to XD / or Coliseum / XD. For some reason, on the back of my mind, I had this like name for a game. I was gonna put it here as like an out there prediction. I forget what it was called. It was like Prism Burst or something. It was gonna be like kind of like that. It wasn't anything I heard of. It was just an out there idea. I thought since we were doing predictions, I felt like you need to put a little wild or crazy one in there if you're gonna spend the time doing predictions, because, well, you know, that's just kind of the whole beauty of the fact that you're doing predictions, is that you put some stuff that isn't quite expected, like things that you just don't expect, but you want to do like a crazy one there to make it a little bit interesting. Because I want to put it out there, in the past I've had a couple of slightly out there predictions. So I think around the time that Champions was happening, was revealed, I might have predicted it in a way because I was doing some out there stuff. But a lot of people have already talked about it. I think I was just talking about it a lot right before it happened. But you know, there was the out there one, like I said, with I kept talking about The Legend of Zelda and the like chibi style art. I was like, Pokemon needs to do this before they did it, and then that happened. So that's one of the things that was kind of out there, but actually happened. So that's all. The only reason I'm saying, like, if it's something you like, I feel like it's good to just kind of put it out there, because there's a chance that they actually might do something like that. And for me, I feel like this is something. You know, I just can't remember the exact name I had. I thought it was like Prison Burst or something. I had the name of it based on like Primal stuff, like I was talking about. We were talking about remakes and stuff, right? I was thinking it's like, you know, a mixture of Primal, a mixture of Mega, a mixture of like the Shadow stuff, Coliseum XD. I was thinking like something like that, and maybe it'd be its own thing, but it would reintroduce all that stuff together in like one cohesive system. And I guess that's just kind of why I wanted to put it as like one of the out there things. But it was just something that came into my mind. There was a song I was going to play for you, but I went out of my head before I could even remember it. It was like 2 days ago that I was thinking about it. I should have wrote it down and made a little bit more for the prediction stuff, because I feel like that would have been interesting. At least an interesting idea to keep people talking about stuff, because I feel like, you know, we still don't have concrete dates for things, so like we need something to talk about. And not to say that you should have to talk about that. I mean, there's still other things to talk about, but if you're interested in the games and stuff, we still have a little bit of time before we get some of the new stuff. To be fair, like I said, Legend ZA is going to get a new Mega Evolution, new Z Mega Evolution. For me, what that means is I'll probably do the event and stuff, but I've already finished everything in the game, so I'm just kind of like on the point where you get shinies and things. Anyways, I think I already explained it last time I played it, actually, that I finished all the missions in the game. Okay, so Pokemon Winds and Wave, I'm going to bring that up. I guess I just do this. And then I just have to bring the window up for you to see it. That was one of the things I was worried about. Okay. So, obviously we have Pokemon Wind. We have Pokemon Winds and Waves. So let me give you something that this reminds me of. So if you're a fan of, or... Ugh, I didn't want to do that. Just slapped my microphone into my face. If you're a fan of, like, The Legend of Zelda and stuff, not saying that I've played too much recently. I actually later on played the older games, but this is kind of giving me some of the vibes that I see for trailers when I see, like, is it Skyward Sword and Wind Waker? I haven't played out of those games, but it's giving me some vibes of that. I don't know if that's important, but for anybody who's played either of those games or seen those trailers, maybe that's indicative of, I don't know, just the kind of style of the games and things like that. I mean, they look... I'm gonna give you a really good rundown of this, a really, really good overview of Pokemon Winds and Waves. We're gonna talk about this. So, what do we have here? Well, first and foremost, we have the 3 new starter Pokemon. I have their names here because I don't know them, but some of the descriptions are kind of cute. I like all of them. just looking at them. But it says the bean chicken Pokemon. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's a grass type. I don't think we've had a grass chicken. We've had grass bird type, which was Rowlet, but that's going to be interesting. So this is going to be like in stark contrast to Combustion and Blaziken and Torchic, right? Yeah. As Overgrow, which all of them do, but Blaze, like, okay. So Pombon is a puppy, a dog. Have we ever had a dog? I mean, we've had cats and stuff, but have we ever had a dog as a starter Pokemon? I don't think we have. Like the chicken, to be fair, we had Blaziken and stuff, but I think this is our first time getting a dog, unless you want to count Mudkip as technically a dog. I don't know if you can. This is oddly Gen 3 specific. A little bit weird, huh? A little bit weird, but we saw like 2, 3, and some of the other ones in the animation before leading up to it, so obviously inspiration's there. I want to double check on this too. So Secrets of the Jungle, that's what I was talking about. That was 2021. Anyway, Secrets of the Jungle is what I was talking about for the region stuff. I want to see what oh, wait a minute. No. Africa. Yeah, but this... No? Well... Okay, anyways, let me just talk about the, Let me talk about, the starter Pokemon. So, like I said, Pombon is puppy dog, Pokemon, puppy Pokemon. First time we've had a dog as a starter, I think. I mean, like I said, you could probably count Mudkip technically in a way as a dog, or it's the closest thing to a dog, even though it's technically not. I just, for some reason, think of it like a dog a little bit. But do we have anything else that really counts as a dog, as far as starters are concerned? I think this is a first. We have Gekwa, which is a gecko. Okay. We had Sobble, which I don't know if that was a chameleon, not a gecko, though. Gecko's a little different. And to me, Gecko has always been Kecleon. So, this is a little bit of a different kind of gecko. But, yeah. Really, really interesting. I will be interested to see its evolution. I hope, that the puppy, though, is going to stay four-leg. Every time it's always going to go bipedal, but, like, just maybe one of these years we'll have it be like we did with Gen 5 with like we did with Oshawott. So it started out bipedal and then moved to four-leg. But maybe we'll have like a final form like Oshawott did, where it's 4 legs and stuff. Because I don't know, I just like the design, and I feel like it just needs to not be such a stark thing. Like, if they're going to do bipedal, at least make it the second evolution this time instead of the third only. But, yeah. Like I said, Gecko Pokemon, water type. Everything else can be predicted, like Blaze Torrent and Overgrow. They might have some special abilities and things like that, too. Oh, so it's Brazil in Portuguese. Brazilian, Portuguese, well, oh wait, no. Oh no, that's going to be officially supported in this. I don't know why. Yeah, no, they never really say where it's based on. I don't know why I would read that and think that that's what it was saying. For some reason, that clicked in my head for some reason. But, no, I don't want to guess where it's based, because obviously it's in Pokemon, so it's not technically any of it, but Usually each region is based on, like, obviously Alola was Hawaii, obviously. I can't remember every single region though, but I will say I like the diversity of the climates. Oh yeah, in Scarlet and Violet, wasn't that like oh, where is it? Spanish and stuff. A lot of inspiration there. I know they'll go to different places and get inspiration for the games from places they visited. So I'm trying to remember what this one was. I know they were talking about like that Pokemon really needed to do a region like Africa, obviously, but somewhere else specifically. I can't remember exactly where it was. Okay, so it does say it does talk about Pokemon Champions here. It says available April 2026 on Nintendo Switch. Oh, so there is a release. So here's the official release for Pokemon Champions, April of 2026. That's a good date. That is literally in 2 months-ish time, a month. Also, later this year, you can connect Zia to home. So, so when you link, you'll be able to bring Pokemon that appear in both these titles and visit Pokemon Champions and battle alongside them as they aim for the title of champion. Claim rewards in Pokemon Champions such as a Chestnut Stone. What? I think this was written wrong. It says... Let me stand up for this, because I can see my monitor, my top monitor better with this, but... It says... Okay, let me read this statement to you. Because this is an official statement on their press release site. I think. Should be, at least. It says, later this year, trainers will be able to connect Pokemon Legends ZA game to home. By linking champions to Pokemon Home, they'll be able to bring Pokemon that appear in both these titles to visit Pokemon Champions and battle alongside them as they aim for the title of champion. Trainers can also claim additional rewards in Pokemon Champions, such as a Chestnut Stone, Delphoxite Stone, and Greninjite Stone by transferring these Megastones corresponding Pokemon that were originally obtained in Legend ZA into Pokemon Home. So it looks like the Megastones, the 3 Megastones, you can get by transferring those Pokemon into Home. So that means there's going to be undoubtedly a Dex completion Pokemon for Legend ZA that they're going to offer. But it doesn't say when Fire Red and Leaf Green will be working with Home, or at what time it will be. TCG expansion. 17 is a quote. Organs validated. So there's a little bit with the TCG Pokemon original video games and new game merchandise offers. So Fire Red and Leaf Green video game remakes of the game Red and Pokemon Green games are jam hand today on Nintendo Switch digital titles. Okay. Well, that was a little bit of a new thing. Also, it looks like today the Mega Garchomp should be a thing, so you just get that for mystery gift. Excuse me. Okay. What is this? For more ways to celebrate 30th, you can visit Pokemon social media. In addition, fans can join the conversation online. Share their pick about Pokemon through what's your favorite and go. And stay up to date. Please visit Pokemon.com. So, like, I'm gonna be looking a little bit more there on the official website. So I kind of want to hear a little bit more about what the TCG is talking about. We'll talk about winds and waves a little bit more too, but like I said, I want to give a bit more of an in-depth in it. I just want to look at a little bit of what the TCG's doing here, because it looked like there was some older stuff. Because I know they did, I think it was the 25th, they released like a set of older cards, which I collect those actually. Okay, we have to stay tuned for more on that, unfortunately. First details in the upcoming games, including a look at the main characters and new first partner Pokemon. So it says the new Pokemon Presents revealed. And let me bring this over here for you. So, see the new trailer for Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Get the first details about the upcoming games, including a look at the main characters and the first partner Pokemon. The new Presents revealed an exciting trailer for Pokemon Winds and Waves, upcoming entries in the video game series by Game Freak for Nintendo Switch 2. So it's only going to be for 2, not for 1. Means it's going to be required to have a 2 for this particular title, or set of titles. They're an open world to explore, which you kind of expect from Scarlet and Violet, right? And a little bit from Legend CA, but it looks a lot bigger with beautiful wind-swept islands and a vast ocean. So it reminds me a lot of Oraz in a way, right? Like this is like the open world version of Hoenn, but a different region, of course. Own unique ecosystems. During this adventure, team people with all kinds of Pokemon, overcoming both the difficult road ahead and even focus on even the forces of nature that block your path at times. So it sounds like dynamic weather and stuff might be a bigger play in this. What if Roasty, Tornadus, Thunderous, Landorus, and the new one. My apologies for getting the new one's name, but was introduced in Legends Arceus. Anyways. We were shown that. What is this? Additionally, it was announced at the beginning with Pokemon Winds and Waves. Brazilian and Portuguese will officially be supported as language players can choose. Now, even more fans around the world will be able to play this game in their language. So that's represented by the Pikachus. Showed off a pair of special Pikachu with brand new look. We'll have to wait a bit longer to learn how Mr. Winchu and Ms. Wavechu will be involved in the adventure. Oh, I can tell you about that, actually. I can tell you about this. So, there's this long-running thing in Pokemon where you have the surfing Pikachu, which you could connect and link up games. I think it was like Stadium and like the first generation of Pokemon games or something. I can't remember. There might have been like a mini game where you could surf with Pikachu, but also you could get a Pikachu with surf, I think from Exterior Coliseum, in the game, and then send it over to the main games. So that was one way to obtain a surfing Pikachu, which I think I even have on my main games. That was part of some of the stuff that I actually went back and did a lot of things, make sure I had that stuff. There isn't, so I don't think there's a Pikachu with Fly, but I will say this. There's not only a Pikachu that knows Surf, and no, I'm not talking about Alolan Raichu. I'm talking about Pikachu because you could evolve it into Raichu and it would still have the non-Alolan form, Surf, move. However, a lot of people don't know this. There is also a Pichu that knows Surf that you can obtain in the older games. Technically. So it's from the old box system and it transfers to the games. It's like a gift Pokemon, but you can obtain it. So, as far as Flying Pikachu is concerned, some of you might be more familiar with that. If I remember, Let's Go kind of had like the Fly move Pikachu could learn. And also, we had the Fly Terra type for Pikachu. I thought there was like a balloon for Pikachu in the older, like Generation 1 stuff. Maybe there was like a Flying Pikachu mini game or something at some point. Dash might have had it. possibly, or some of the other games might have had it. I can't remember. But if this is anything like that, the main focus was during Generation 3 for where you could actually obtain a Surfing Pikachu. And just looking at a lot of the games, a lot of the stuff for these games that we're seeing, the environment and stuff just heavily reminds me of Hoenn. It's not Hoenn. I don't know exactly what region this is. Technically, they could just make their own and not even have, but it looks like it's based off of something. I just am not familiar enough with the geography of this to say which one it is. I'm sure people are going to be talking about it. But I think it is a very incredibly interesting direction that they went. So obviously they went the direction of Gen 10, right? And we got to see the new starters, which you usually do, but we also got a dog starter, which we've never had, to the best of my knowledge. We've had fox Pokemon, which you could consider in some sense closely associated, but I think they're even more closely associated with cats. So I don't know. This is our first time we're actually seeing a dog as the starter. We've had dog Pokemon, but we've never had a starter that is a dog. So that's going to be an interesting thing, interesting switch up. I remember one year I tried predicting what the Pokemon would be with their types and which groups, and I got a little bit close with the typings for Legends Arceus. I predicted it before looking at anyone else's predictions. Apparently it aligned with some other people's predictions, but I was like Ghost and something dark. I don't know. I don't think it was that exact one, but like I had looked at like all reasonable ones and kind of came on that. Anyways, that was kind of like what it came down to, by eliminating things that they've had, things that they could do. But, you know, it's just interesting seeing this, right? And it's, well, as far as I'm aware, okay, so all of these are pure type Pokemon. All three of these are pure type Pokemon. Let me check something real quick. Pokemon wind waves. Okay, so there is a website for winds and waves. Let me bring that up for you. Winds and waves. Okay, Pokemon Winds and Waves. New stage is set for the Pokemon series. All new entries in the Pokemon video game series will be released exclusively on Switch 2. In a simultaneous worldwide release. Worldwide release. Well, I waited. Okay. Anyways, these new titles feature an open world to explore with beautiful windswept islands, a vast ocean with glittering waves that ebb and flow. I like the waves, live in harmony. This region's lush environment have developed by their own unique ecosystem. By visiting these islands, oh man, we're getting in islands. So we're not getting one island, but we're getting multiple. We're sure to open the door to brand new adventures that could only be found here. During this adventure, you'll be able to team up with all kinds of Pokemon. Difficult road and forces like you. Okay, so here's some cool screenshots. You might get some exclusive ones here too. That reminds me of heavy jungle themes though, for sure, and tropical. It feels like it's a place we're exploring and not... so it feels a lot like Snap. It feels like we're going to the region where Snap was. I like the underwater stuff, and I hope we can actually go underwater for the first time in a very long time. That would be able to do that. Because that would be the first time we'd be able to do something like that in forever. I'm kind of curious what this is. That looks like some battle stadium. Oh, in this underground area, we needed that so badly. I think Legends ZA introduced that during the Mega Dimensions DLC. A lot of new environments and things that they just needed to make their own environments in the Pokemon games. And I'm super excited by the environments and landscape in this. And with the Switch 2, they're able to do some incredibly amazing things with open world. So I hope they're going to fully utilize that, and knowing Pokemon, they are. So I would say this, if you're excited for open world with Pokemon and stuff, this game's going to fit that. I don't see a very big difference between Winds and Waves for the trainers. They look mostly the same except for like around the accessories, which is kind of interesting. But the colors are kind of the same, but they get a little bit of differences. Main character in this adventure. So I wonder if we're going to be akin to like Ranger / Explorer / Snap. Like, you know, where you're not really like traditional trainer, but you're kind of like urban exploring or stuff like that. Like, or, well, maybe not that, but like, not urban, but like an explorer or something like that. So I guess it would be like, maybe not archaeology stuff, but it'll be interesting to see what take they have for the player as far as like your role in the game. Because in Legends ZA, we didn't have the traditional sense for how we worked. We kind of were a part of a team, which we do kind of have at times, but like it was just like a different take. And we sort of got to do some detective work and things like that too. But it feels like we're going to explore a jungle area, which, look at that. That looks amazing. If that's actually in game. I mean, look at the graphics and stuff of the Pokemon. I really like this underground area. I hope it's going to be what it looks like here and not just like a snippet. I hope this isn't just like a small area, but like a dedicated lava area, which could be a volcano. I don't actually know. Because like we really needed, you know, some areas kind of like that. We kind of got some of that in Arceus, right? But, you know, these are the first partner Pokemon. Looks like we get to pick them. Looks like there might be a tropical resort, which is kind of cool. I mean, we had the, what was it, Pokemon Concierge. I wonder if that stuff was alluding to the fact that they're going to move towards some of the island-based stuff, which also Fire Red Leaf Green has the Sebi Islands. These are islands, so maybe that's kind of what they're trying to aim towards. And I've been feeling like for a long time, the Sebi Islands have just been ignored for so long. It's just nice to see them kind of focusing on this like island thing where, yes, we had Alola, but that really wasn't the same thing as like this, as like the Sebi Islands and stuff. And I feel like now we're getting Fire Red and Leaf Green, so, you know, and I never really got to play the Sebi Island stuff before because I never really played Fire Red and Leaf Green. Yeah. So Special Pikachu make their appearance. Involved in your adventure. All I'm going to say is this. You had the wrestling Pikachu, right? Which was a costume. You also have Pikachu, Detective Pikachu, right? So, you know, there are all of those aspects. Oh, it even gives a little bit more accurate. Pokemon World Championships. Oh, April 2nd to 23rd. Oh, so World Champions. Okay, so maybe it's not Pokemon Champions, it's April. Yeah, it says World Champions. Okay, so I might have been wrong about that April for Champions, but they said they're going to be playing Champions at Champions. So I'm just kind of thinking Champions. Oh, no, Champions is available April alongside. So it's going to be the release window of this April 2nd to 23rd. All right. Well, guess that's how that works. Anyways, I feel like the region's a really, really just refined thing. And if there's one screenshot that really defines, like, so I do like this swamp area, but this is probably one of I'm most excited, because if we do get some underwater gameplay, we can go underwater and use dive and stuff. That would be incredible and amazing to see. Because I'd like to explore some underwater temples or things like that. So there's that image, and then there's one other image that I consider to be... Okay, so it's not on here. So it's that one, and then there's another one here too. And this one right here. So those two images right there tell me that this game is incredibly polished. Like, the graphics of this game is going to be something that we've never had. Exactly. I feel like Scarlet and Violet was close. I feel like Legend ZA was really good graphics. But we didn't really get very, you know, environments that were outside of city environments. We didn't get, like, landscapes and things like that. We were just looking at a city. So it's kind of, like, hard to say that. But we're getting, like, these lush jungle environment plus tropical, like that is the perfect mixture. Plus we get the water, we get the, like, the lava environment. So there's so many different habitats for Pokemon. I'm really excited to see how habitats are going to fit into this, because it was talking about the hard tasks. Yeah, it says even the forces of nature that will block your path at times. So I hope we have dynamic weather. I hope we have dynamic weather events. Like, there could be waves. There could be like dangerous weather where we can't go places, or maybe, man, well, I guess you can't really make it like too dangerous, but, like, you know, weather that prevents you from going from one island to the other. So you're, like, stuck on an island while the weather happens. Maybe it's just like a thunderstorm or something, I don't know. Or wavy. It could be wavy, it could be windy. I think weather is going to be a big thing in these two games, and I'm excited to see how that plays into it. Okay. So I've spent a tremendous amount of time on that. So here's what I want to do. I have my Switch ready, but I need to prep it just a little bit. Mainly for me to go to the game. It only takes me a couple seconds, but I never played a virtual game card before, but gonna be playing this. Anyways, I'm going to bring the game up. I think everything should be normal. But I can't hear it yet, so I have to swap over to this. So we're going to play for just a little bit. Just a little bit. I want to get to trading stuff. I want to test out the trading in terms of if it'll work with the other stuff, which it should. Anyways, the various buttons will be explained in the order of their importance. Main character, also choose various confirm choices. Use the exit, cancel, or choose and cancel. So there are some changes here with Fire Red and Leaf Green, I think. Because I don't think this was usually in there. Play the game or how to do things. Press this for the button. This is going to be interesting. So I'm not going to read everything. That's because my voice couldn't handle it. But this is Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I'm really excited to have this on... even though I can technically play it off of my GBA player on GameCube, or off of my capture card with my DS. It's just kind of like nice, better resolution through this. I also have another thing, which is like a little peripheral that lets me plug my cartridge in and play it on PC too. But that's not an official one, so no. People affectionately refer to me. Anyways, the main thing I'm doing here is I'm probably not going to save this, but I'm going to transfer over from this because I need to get one of the, it's like, I'm just going to transfer over from this, so I won't actually be, like, keeping this, but it'll just be, like, a way to get the other starter Pokemon out of all of them. I should have done red, but anyways. Just kind of excited to see this game come back. And it looks a little bit different in some ways. It's like getting into the details of it. For all of you who know, get a free item from here. Naturally, I think it plays so much better on here. I'm kind of curious, though. They didn't talk much about Coliseum or XD when they were talking about this game and with other stuff releasing. As far as like their offerings on what's it called? Nintendo Online. So it's kind of interesting that they didn't mention it. And I really wanted to mention that before the present happened, but yeah. Oh, and just to let you know, I might, before I get back into Resident Evil, take a quick lunch break. But for now, we're going to just kind of play through a little bit of Pokemon Fire Red for Pokemon Day, for the 30th anniversary, just to kind of celebrate for a little bit. I'm not going to play through the whole thing. Like I said, I'm probably going to get to like the Pokemon Center-ish. So play for like 25 minutes or something like that. So get like a good playthrough of this game. I enjoy this, and I'll probably be playing it in my own time. I might stream some more of it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it because I think it would be a good idea, but we'll wait and see. I do probably want to catch all the Pokemon because I'm curious if we're going to get, like I said, Legends ZA is going to have a special Pokemon. I'm curious if Mew, the Mew event stuff, or Mew, like, I can't remember if Mew was in this, it might have been another one. Faraway Island. So it's Hoenn. Or not? Fire Red and Leaf Rain. Pokemon Emerald. So this was Emerald. Anyways, what I'm wondering is though, like, if the transferring to home might do something like that, is what I'm curious about. I always get these two games confused, but also I'm curious if they're going to do anything with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald 2. I'm surprised they didn't talk about that, because if you remember correctly, on the 3DS they released Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, as well as Green in Japan. And then they later released Generation 2, right? Gold, Silver, and Crystal. So I'm curious if that's going to kind of take... It's kind of weird, though, because Fire Red and Leaf Green, I thought, didn't they come out after Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald? So I guess we'll have to wait and see if it does, if we do get those other games too or not. Is this the first time we'll be able to officially... Well, no, I guess you could do it in the Game Boy player, couldn't you? I was gonna say it's probably the first time you could officially play it with a controller, but... Like I said, you could do that on the Game Boy player on GameCube, I think. I just have to save my health. Think. Maybe not. How do I get my stream where I can see it? That might be helpful. Man, I was talking so much about the games. I'm actually gonna look it up on my one end here too. Just to see if there's anything new. Oh, it is a classic TCG set. That is what it was. So I was right. Okay. There's definitely a lot that got revealed. Don't worry, we'll be getting back into some other stuff a little bit later. I'm not... So we have... What is it, like... I feel like looking more at some of these other sites, some of these details that... I don't know, maybe it just wasn't as apparent to me when I was looking through the video and stuff, but... To be fair, more that I look at the press release and other sites that are detailing and stuff, the more I'm seeing that there was a lot more revealed during the presents than what I saw just by watching it. Because I think some of the text stuff that was released too actually included a lot more detail than we got for some of it. So yeah, I mean, just knowing release dates and stuff, it was really fast-paced. I will put it out there. I'm really excited. Also, I think, just as a clarification, it says... I think the Megastone stuff that I was talking about... I'm not sure if it means that you get the Megastones in Pokemon Champions. Or ZA.